Day 3 of the ASUN Baseball Championship brought more craziness to 2019's version, and it started off with a brilliant pitching matchup. Chris Gonzalez and Austin Temple, these two would duel it out. In fact, both of them going all the way into extra innings, but the first run of the board would be Duncan Hunter's homer off Chris Gonzalez. Then he would go on to set down 24 in a row.
Yeah, this was all about starting pitching from both sides. They get touched up early, one in the second inning from Jacksonville, and then Stetson came back in the top of the third. But after that, it was donuts. It was defense. It was pitching. It was all about the guys on the mound.
Chris Gonzalez would venture into 11 innings. Some brilliant defensive work by the shortstops in today's game, Jorge Arenas, and that might end up on SportsCenter, ladies and gentlemen. Just a brilliant play on the back end. But as this game would go on, a couple of mistakes would be made. Not here from Dakota Jalila, though, as these shortstops duel it out defensively. And here would be what would be the go-ahead run for the Stetson Hatters into the 16th inning. We would go, and Eric Fago driving in one run. That made it 2-1, and then Benito Varela adding a 2-run single. Eventually, the Stetson Hatters would put up 5 runs in this inning. Austin Bogart dropping in a double that would go to the wall, scoring Dilbert, and the Stetson Hatters go on to victory. This would be the final out of a marathon game, the 4th in 7 to go extra innings. Stetson moves on to Championship Saturday undefeated. Day 3 of the ASUN Baseball Championships in Melching Field in DeLand, Florida, brought us more baseball than we possibly could have imagined. As the number 5 seed North Florida took on the number 2 seed Liberty Flames. And it was North Florida getting out early on a David Mayberry RBI single. North Florida goes on top 1-0. However, excellent pitching in this ball game. The Liberty Flames come back and get a couple of runs in the bottom half of the 5th inning to take a very brief lead.
Well, Brandon Wrights from North Florida gave up a couple. Mason Meyer gave up a couple. But this was all about the very last inning. Noah Skuro just does a fabulous job.
Before we would get there, a sacrifice fly from North Florida would bring in the tying run, and then we would put up zeros. Zeros and zeros and zeros. And that was the theme of the day. After game number 1 between Stetson and Jacksonville went 16, this game would end up going 12 innings. The bullpen's fantastic. Still Mason Meyer, the starter on the mound here. He would be relieved by Noah Skuro, who was almost as brilliant, showing off major league caliber stuff. Just brilliant from Noah Skuro. There's the nasty look at the curveball as he racked up the strikeouts, 5 of them in 4 innings. And then as the game would come to a close, Eddie Miller gives up a sacrifice fly with the bases loaded and 1 out. Wagner drives in the winning run, and Liberty continues their season as the Flames live on. They will play the Jacksonville Dolphins, the number 4 seed, on Saturday at 11 a.m. University of North Florida's season comes to a close.